only a matter of time before some crazy Twitter lunatic or some Twitter dumbass made the whole Will Smith Chris Rock thing about white supremacy, even though it was a conflict between two black guys. So, guys, we all know about this whole freaking Will Smith slapping Chris Rock over a bar joke, even though he wasn't making fun of her alopecia show. It wasn't even a big deal to begin with. Freaking Will Smith just took it to a whole nother level, or in other words, Jada Pinkett Smith just egged Will Smith on and basically told him to go slap Chris Rock in the face for commenting on a bald head, even though she still had hair. She still had a little bit of hair going on. She just shaves it every now and then. But after this whole debacle came down, you had some Hollywood elites coming out and say, I would have made sure Chris Rock never got back up. I would have beat Chris Rock the F up. And then you had some other Hollywood individuals saying like what Will Smith did was completely disrespectful. Like ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith said it was complete BS about what Will Smith did. And then you had some other individuals out here that's saying like what Will Smith did was completely uncalled for. But then you had like the other group of people that made it about white supremacy. Prime example. Let me show you this little article from Forbes, and let me just tell you that Forbes is not a reliable news platform. They're not. They're really not. They're just as bad as CNN, probably even worse. Because they would take things to the extreme, and I don't think I've seen an article like this from CNN yet, where they made the whole Will Smith joke about white supremacy. But yeah, you can just read the title, right? Read the this little phrase right here: diversity, equity, and inclusion, and know what these idiots are about, by Maya Nigel Hoskin. Okay, guys. So let me go ahead and read you this article. Providing provocative views on racism, pop culture, and mental health. What does racism have to do with this whole freaking debacle between Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Will Smith? What does racism have to do with this? What does diversity, equity, and inclusion have to do with anything what happened with Will Smith, Chris Rock? I'll give you a hint. Absolutely nothing. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and read y'all this first article. Then I'm going ahead and skip to the part where she actually talked about how this escalated into being a white supremacist type thing. Everyone is still talking about last night's Oscar winning Academy Award winning actor and director Will Smith slapped award-winning stand-up comedian, actor, writer, producer, and director Chris Rock after Rock made a distasteful joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Of course, social media immediately exploded, and people began dishing out their opinions and providing theories about the slap heard around the world. Various conspiracy theories have run the gamut from the incident being staged for ratings to being staged to emasculate black men further. But perhaps the larger question that should be asked is why blacks in Hollywood have routinely been expected to go in and bear embarrassment and degradation without expressing any discontent or risk being viewed as angry. Furthermore, why is it permissible for a black woman's health condition to be made content for a few cheap laughs at an awards show, and how would this incident overshadow the hard work of Will Packer, the black man who produced the awards show, along with an armed black team for the first time in history? Okay, first of all, Chris Rock, I'm pretty sure he didn't know anything about freaking Jada Pinkett Smith alopecia. I'm pretty sure he didn't know anything about that, but he just made a joke because her head is shaved. That's not really a distasteful joke. Yeah, it could have been executed more better, but it wasn't a distasteful joke since you did have Will Smith himself laughing at that joke. So how is it? So it's distasteful to you who has this certain mindset of this being a why is Chris Rock attacking a black woman for having a shaved head? Shut up, you idiotic piece of crap. You freaking journalists out there that wants to put out crap like this, but instead, guys, let me go ahead and forward this to where she actually starts to talk about white supremacy. He also shared that he had to turn the other cheek in previous incidents in which he felt disrespected throughout his career. You gotta smile while you gotta pretend like that's okay. He said, however, last night, the Fresh Prince appeared fed up. Some argue that while violence should never be condoned, perhaps there is a space to hold empathy for a man who works in an industry that promotes Stephen and fetchit politics and asks for blacks and other people of color to grin and bear experiences of embarrassment and degradation or risk being labeled as angry or offensive, aggressive. I'm sorry. But some argue that this is not about Will Smith and Chris Rock being black or Will Smith sending black people back. This is about a much larger systemic issue rooted in white supremacy. Again, what does white supremacy had to do with this, Forbes? No. Just a matter of fact, if the writer of this article, Maya Nigel Hoskin, actually sees this video, I want to ask her how this little conflict between Chris Rock and Will Smith, two black people, had anything to do with white supremacy. I dare her if she watches the video. This is about a much larger systemic issue rooted into white supremacist culture designed to police the behavior of blacks amongst the who's in Hollywood and beyond. With respectively, politics suggest that equity and fair treatment require that black people both inside and outside Hollywood conduct themselves in a manner deemed acceptable to whites. Here we go again. Like this, but this is the whole freaking Colin Kaepernick trait, where white people want an acceptable Negro, even though there's a lot of black folks out there that doesn't like the ignorant culture. Listen, let me just say that I like my videos to be monetized so I can get paid. So this whole black, so what is this stereotypical black person supposed to act? Sagging the pants, hood, wearing tattoos, got face tattoos like Kevin Gates. Is that what a black man supposed to be? Meyer, is that what this is? Okay. Furthermore, expressing any emotion other than complacence, apathy, or agreeance directly violates those norms, disqualifying black people from receiving the same equitable treatment that whites enjoy as a birthright. And sadly, there's a large group of blacks who have internalized this toxic messaging. Okay, please, I want her to say the same thing about rap music and a lot of these rap artists nowadays that push gang violence, degrade black women. Cardi B talking about her vagina every freaking 5 seconds, like that's some sort of black empowerment BS they got going on. I want her to actually, if she's one of those people, like, which I'm assuming it is, I want her to actually express that. Again, most will argue that grievances should not be met with balled up fists or open palm slaps. But perhaps there is a space to challenge the system and the cultural norms and expectations that created a pressure cooker for repressed and stereotyped emotions and behaviors of people of color. Bottom line, the joke was made in extremely poor taste. Many have pointed out that it is far from the norm for the health of white actresses to be made the butt of a joke in such a public and esteemed place. So why should it be acceptable for black women to be made the exceptions? Oh my God. And why is it the public so eager to only wag their fingers in judgment of Smith's behavior and not question the racist system that was designed to incubate his and so many other frustrations? What racist system are you talking about? Will Smith is a public figure. Do you think, bro, there's literally an article of Ezra Miller where this mofo is out of his damn mind. He's going to people, he's breaking in people's houses, telling them to shut the F up because they're singing karaoke. This dude, having fights with women in bars, but because he has the right politics, he's not being canceled or he doesn't have to apologize. What Will Smith didn't I'm pretty sure Will Smith didn't apologize. Jada Pinkett Smith made him apologize because even though it was Jada Pinkett Smith that told him to go up there and handle that. It wasn't Will Smith that did that. That was Jada Pinkett Smith mainly just forcing her emasculated husband to go defend her honor. That's what this was, man. Because it's my take on it. If you don't like it, I really could give a damn. I really could. But let me go ahead and continue. Perhaps the most tremendous disservice this Rumble has caused was overshadowing history being made. The hard work of Will Packer, the first black man to produce the esteemed award ceremony with an all-black production team. Okay, And here she is right here, Maya Nigel Hoskin. I am a writer, activist, and college professor. So you already know where she leans. Who teaches graduate level courses in counseling. I earned my PhD in counseling education and clinical supervision, and I give keynote speeches and facilitate cultural consciousness seminars and training to staff, students, and faculty at a both private and public business. If you go to a school that this woman attends, stay 20 feet away from this chick, because for her and some other people to tie this into like white supremacy, even though this had nothing to do with white people, it just goes to show like where people's mindsets are when something happens between two black people. Like, but they'll talk about white supremacy when it comes to like Will Smith and Chris Rock, but they won't talk about the white supremacy when it comes to black Bloods versus Crips, black on black violence, black on black crime, gang violence. They won't tie that into white supremacy. No, as a matter of fact, they barely mention that at all. They barely mention that at all. People, they really do. But guys, this is where we at right now. Where you have some people out there that will literally tie a conflict between two black people to white supremacy. That's where we at right now, because they have nothing else better to talk about. And this is why stations like Forbes, CNN, MSNBC, they're all dying platforms. They're all propaganda news. They don't really, they don't actually care about black people, which is why they always call us a person of color instead of like just black Americans or just Americans in general. They always just call us some other name. Right, how is person of color different from color person from what racists said back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s? How is that any different? It's literally the same thing. They just worded different to be more modern or more progressive. But guys, I'm just one opinion here. If you guys like I'm saying, like and subscribe, share this video, hit that notification bell. I will see you on the next one. Peace.